Thanks for tapping in with 95 South TV, hosted by Icon Ian King J, bringing you the best news and media through the efforts of the community. We interview nonprofit organizations, business owners, school teachers, spiritual leaders, and anybody who has an impact in the community that has a remarkable backstory. These professionals that we bring on this show has a story that will wow you, that will knock your socks off. And with that being said, we want you to tune in, keep it locked. We want you to like, share, follow, and subscribe. Be a dedicated listener. Come in, and if you require to do an interview, you can definitely reach out to us at 95southpodcast@gmail.com. Thank you.
What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy Icon. And once again, we are on Hill 95 South TV. First and foremost, I want to thank God for this opportunity because without Him, there will be no us to be able to have these great people, these great entertainers, these great performers, these great people on this great platform. Next, I want to introduce my right hand man, your baby mama favorite host, Barry White Jr. voice himself, my man, Great Jacob the Great. What's going on, brother?
What up, bro? Glad to be in the land of the living, man. Another day to get it right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, man, we got like, I call it third time as charm. I think it's the first person we've had on here three times. You know what I'm saying? So, this young lady has been doing her thing for some years, and can keep grinding. Her manager always keep me informed of what she got going on, and I know she got some new stuff coming up, some stuff she may want to talk about. So, we got the great Miss Cox in the building. What's going on, sister?
What's up? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. So yeah, basically, I seen that you got like a new movie uh that you was a part of. So kind of let us know were you part of the score? Did you actually have a part in the movie? Because I was looking it up. It's supposed to be dropping like sometime this week, if I'm not mistaken.
Listen, we just got a lot of stuff going on for sure. I actually every movie that I've been in thus far, I have had music on the soundtrack. So of course, yes, the music is scored on the soundtrack of all of the projects thus far, the four that are out, and then the two that are coming this year. So yes, of course, the music is on there. I did just drop my EP, three-piece the EP. We just dropped it on Friday, which was my birthday. So that was my birthday gift to the world. So y'all make sure y'all go stream that. It's out everywhere right now. Coming up, stay tuned for Miss Cox taking over your TV screen. We just signed a deal for a new TV show. Can't really speak much on it, but it's coming as well. We're about to go into production for that as well. So we working for sure.
Okay, now this new movie, are you actually in it? Do you have a part in it? Because I think it's the movie with Method Man.
I can't hear you anymore.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Hello? Hello, can you hear me? You can't hear me?
Can you hear me, Miss Cox?
I hear you perfectly.
Okay, great, great. So you have a new movie, right? With Method Man and Kelly Rowland. Or did you have a part in it, or was your music on the soundtrack?
So I wasn't in the movie. I just attended the red carpet for it, but I wasn't in that movie. It was just my publicist told me to go, so I was just more so just being in a room and networking. But I'm not in that movie or have music scored in it.
Okay, cool, 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 cool.
Okay,
Okay.
okay,
Now
okay.
you, now you are gonna.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes,
Okay, I don't know what happened. So basically, with your EP, what's the new EP called?
three piece,
Three piece. Okay, three piece.
three piece.
Now, what does three piece mean to you, and why did you call it that?
So I called it three piece because I'm East Atlanta's finest. I'm all about the South, the Southern feel, and I wanted to put people in the mindset or the mood of what you would get at a Sunday dinner. So you got your chicken, you got your sides, you got your biscuit or the cornbread, and then you have your drink. And each person or everyone's different, so they like different parts of the meal. There are some people that are like, oh, I gotta have my meat. Some people like gotta have all the sides. Some people that love the cornbread, the biscuits. And there's some people that just kind of more so love the drink. And Three Piece is one of four projects that I'll be dropping periodically throughout this year. And like I said, each project brings something different. So this one is still that fun music, the girls twerking, having a good time. The next project is gonna be more the R&B feel, the Lover Girl era. The one after that is like more of my anthems, my crossover music. And then the last one will be a more so a happy montage of all of the projects that we put together for sure.
Okay, yeah, because we talked about that on the last interview. Yeah, I said
Yes.
because you was making me hungry. You know what I'm saying? The
Yes.
last time we talked, because you was talking about doing this project or whatever. So let me ask you something. So, because me and my son been talking about this, so I want to get your opinion on it. How do
Okay.
you feel about the Atlanta music right now? Because it seemed like, T.I. came back on fire, and it seemed like they saying the old heads had to come back to bring Atlanta back and bring the Atlanta sound back. So you kind of let me know how you feel about what's going on in Atlanta with the music right now.
Honestly, I just feel like as a whole, as a collective, yes, tapping in with the OGs that paved the way is definitely good looks for all of the upcoming artists. But it's like everyone's getting their time. Honestly, I'm gonna say that Metro Boomin did a really, really, really good job of giving that whole Atlanta flair, that Atlanta sound on his the futuristic summer because he tapped into, got into like those organic, authentic Atlanta roots from the Travis Porters to the Roscoe Dashes to the Shop Boys, all of the people that really were movers and shakers as far as the Atlanta scene is concerned. He tapped in, got all of them, and then incorporated the new school. So everybody's kind of like, okay, cool, let's build each other up and come together as a collective. So definitely, I would say that it's all coming back full circle. All of the OGs that people might have felt like, oh, they fell off, they ain't have nothing going on, or popping back out on the scene and showing what people was going on. Then all of the new heads are tapping in with the old heads, and it's just making it even bigger, a bigger movement for the culture for Atlanta. So all of that is great. Like I'm really, really good and close with the Shop Boys. They're like family to me. Of course, Roscoe Dash, of course, Michael Montana. So all of that is like tapping in the new school with the old school and just merging that sound, honestly.
Okay, okay. So the last time we talked, you were putting together a tour, like a female tour, where you're gonna have women opening up for you and all that kind of stuff. One, did you ever put that together? And two, if you did, how did that go?
We didn't put it together to its entirety as of yet, but I definitely believe that it will happen. It will launch this year, for sure. Not sure when, just because everybody's kind of been doing a lot of other things and stuff like that. But definitely, I'm gonna say it's gonna be together this year.
Okay, so I know you've been doing a lot of shows and events over the last probably 6 or 7 months or whatever that we last talked. So where's one of the places that you've been that you like that you experienced over the last several months that you really enjoyed yourself?
Um, I always enjoy performing in Macon, just because Macon is such a. It's like I feel like at this point it's kind of like a second or third home to me, just because Macon shows me so much love. But the place where I had the fun at the most was probably performing on the Carnival Cruise, just because that was something that I've never done before, and
Mm.
to be an independent artist and be able to actually perform on a Carnival Cruise. I did a meet and greet, gave out merch, and performed. That was totally different, and I feel like that set a bar for me and for other independent artists because, like I said, they're not doing that.
Mm. So okay, so explain how that goes. So basically, okay, set it up. Okay, so you get on this cruise. So are you on you or you did you just do it for one cruise or did you do it for an extended amount of time or how did that go?
It was just one cruise. It was set up.
Okay.
I think we did went like November 10th through the 15th. They did like a heavy promotion through the radio station. They got people to come in. Me from my side, I think I had maybe 10 or 12 people that came from my family and showed up, supported on the cruise. So we had like the whole fifth floor, which is damn near like all Miss Cox and her family type of thing. And then they just had different days, like a black party, a all white party, a meet and greet with free drinks, and then like the main day of when I performed and stuff like that. So it was cool, definitely. And then like after performing and after doing a meet and greet, seeing people wearing my shirt, wearing my merch, and like, hey, Miss Cox type of thing. I think it was pretty cool for sure.
Okay, so I know like when those cruises like that, they kind of very structured at the times and stuff they do it. So when you performing like did you perform like every night at a certain time and a couple of times
Mm-mm.
or you just performed at one time?
It was just that one time.
Okay, and then the
One
rest of the
day.
time you was able to chill and hang out and do
Mix
what you
and
wanted.
mingle, have a good time. Yeah.
Okay. What so where the cruise itself, where did it go?
We went to Jamaica, man,
Jamaica.
Montego Bay, and where else did we go? Because it was in the midst of like when Jamaica was going through the hurricane and stuff like that.
Okay.
So one of the days we was at sea. It definitely cut it short. But it was the Cayman Islands and then Jamaica as
Okay.
well.
Okay. Now how was Jamaica? How was that experience?
Jamaica was pretty cool. I always have a good time when I'm in Jamaica. So it definitely was a vibe for sure. I'm big on like getting authentic food. So
Hmm.
I loved it being able to go eat. That's my main thing. Like I want to eat.
So what's the thing? Are they real big like on the jerk chicken and stuff out there too?
Yes, the Caribbean. So the jerk chicken, the oxtails, the rice and peas, um, curry chicken, curry goat, stuff like that.
Okay, so before I pass it back over to Jacob, I know, like Zeus been sending me your numbers and stuff when it comes to the charting and everything. So how is that feeling to be able to see your name on all these charts and charting your music charting the way it is?
Honestly, I still have yet to kind of like get used to the fact that like me being like me charting and stuff like that, just because I feel like it's so much more that needs to be accomplished and so many more things that we have to go. So I'm in this kind of like hard rock and a hard place of being able to live in the moment and bask in like what I've accomplished, but then also seeing the tunnel at the light at the end of the tunnel, like knowing that we have more like way more things to do type of thing. So yeah.
So go ahead, Jacob.
The world famous Miss Cox. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? I like
Good. I'm
that. The
good.
world famous. Yes.
Yeah. So, been watching your movie for a while, but and I would say before I ask you a series of questions, I definitely love you as a businesswoman because a lot of
Thank you.
these artists get it twisted that it's called business for a reason,
Hmm.
and you definitely handle your business. You got a very well structured team, and you do a lot of strategic planning. And so,
Absolutely.
how did you get to the point of having a structured team and understanding what strategic planning means in the corporate structure of the music business?
I think for me, it took a lot of just learning myself and knowing what I'm okay with, what I choose to tolerate or what I don't choose to tolerate. And I say that because you have to be okay with firing people. If your path and their path doesn't align, like then you have to be like, okay, this doesn't work for me. And I say that, for example, like with management and stuff like that, when because I've been through a couple different managers and I feel like they had their own dream or goal and vision for me, and then I had my own. And once you realize that it doesn't align with what your path is, then you have to be like, nah, this isn't gonna work, type of thing. So I think for me, just knowing what I need to do, knowing where I see myself, and making sure that our goals align for each other, and then also having a manager where they're not going to put you on the shelf. They're going to put you first and make you priority. Like even if they represent other people, they still need to make sure that you're moving and you have things going on. I feel like a lot of artists these days, they get managers that are way like big gigantic managers in the industry, but that manager is managing 4 or 5 other different people, and you kind of go to the back burner to the other person and whatever else is going on. So having a manager or having people on your team that even if they do have other business going on, they still make sure that you are prioritized, especially when it's your time, when it comes to rollouts or business plans and meetings and stuff like that. So I think now finally being able to sit in a place of having a good solid team, it's a blessing. I'm super duper grateful for each and every person that's on my team right now. Absolutely.
Okay, great. So, with that being said, you are a new generation artist, and doing some amazing things. How do you want to change the narrative on how people look at female artists publicly?
I would just say that not all female artists are sleeping their way to the top to get to where they are or what they have accomplished thus far. Like I actually take pride in being able to say like all of the accolades and the charting and the tours and accomplishments that I've done and I've achieved so far, it has zero to do with anybody, me sleeping with anybody or doing anything to get my own gain. It's literally off of sheer work ethic, talent, of course, and just positive energy and building relationships with people.
Okay, okay, great, great, great. So you have touched the film sets as well when it comes to the acting as well. And
Hmm.
so, what type of process has that been for you? And what what have you learned about the film industry as well?
The film industry is not too far off from the music industry. I enjoy it just because I get to embody a different character when it comes to acting. But as far as like both of the industries, it's a lot of the same type of things. Like, the red carpets, the set, the production, and all of that stuff. They kind of go hand in hand, if you ask me. So um, that would be the main thing, is just being able to have that happy medium and that balance between the two.
Okay, so for you as a female artist, and with your collabs, what piques your interest on wanting to collab with another artist?
Energy, definitely, work ethic, and talent. I would say those are the three. Like right now, I love the baby just because he just gives that type of energy, that feel, like the confidence. He just exudes a lot of boss energy to me. So I would love to work with somebody like him. Of course, the Missy Elliott's, like that's my number one inspiration in the game, just because she's a true entertainer. Um, Other people like Friday, Janae Aiko. As far as upcoming, I would love to work with like a Bunnaby or a YK Niece, just for the young generation, and tap in with them. And then yeah, just like I said, energy, talent. I feel like all of those people that I just named have super duper great energy and they're very talented.
All right, I'll come back to you, sir.
Yeah, so basically moving forward, what would be like your ideal role that you would want to play in if it was a movie or television situation?
I don't know. I haven't even gotten that far. I feel like I want to do something because as of lately I've been doing things that I feel like are within me, like playing somebody in the industry, or a rapper, or I had to play like a aunt, which I'm already an aunt. So I honestly don't know. I'm not really afraid of any role or any character. The only things that I feel like I do not want to play, I don't want to do anything that involves me being in a casket or anything in a jail cell. So as far as like would I see myself in the acting world or as an actress, I feel like I'll take on any role as long as I don't have to do any of those.
Okay, okay. So when it comes to your music, do you have like a main producer that you use all the time for the most part, or do you try to work with as many different producers as possible?
Um, it depends on the mode. Like I know if I want to tap into like my like real deal Atlanta, just unapologetic feel, I have like my handful of producers that I work with. And then when I do, like for example, the like this record on my EP, that was a whole New Orleans type of record, New Orleans bounce record. So I tapped into the hottest producer out of New Orleans and worked with him on that, and it was great actually. So I'm not really opposed to working with other producers. It just depends on what the vibes and what we going for at that time.
Okay, so according to like, so if you listen to everybody's sound right now and different producers out there right now, who would you say that if you had an opportunity to work with would embody the sound that you would look for, like the perfect sound that you would be looking for on a track?
I would look for certain people like a Metro Boomin type of record, or Mr. Hanky, because I feel like they make really, really big records. So definitely Mr. Hanky or Metro Boomin, Sunny Digital. Um, yeah.
Okay, so you don't put me on to something. Well, I mean, I gotta learn from you young people now. Who was Mr. Hanky? What songs have he done? Because that's a new name for me.
Mr. Hanky? So
Yeah, that's a
Mr.
new name for
Hanky,
me. I'm not gonna lie. You know who Mr. Hanky is, Jacob? That's a new one for me.
Jacob, you know who Mr. Hanky is. Please say
I
yes.
I know who Sonny Digital is, most
Yeah, I know
You don't
definitely.
Sonny
know
Digital.
Mr.
Mr.
Hanky?
Yeah,
Yeah, you
I,
got
I've
you got.
I've I've heard young people talk about Mr. Hanky, like younger rappers. talk about Mr. Hanky, but I'm really not that familiar with him. But Sonny Digital,
Yeah,
most
Sunny
definitely.
Digital, Metro Boomin. I know those names, but Mr. Hanky, you gotta give us one or two tracks he's done.
Wow. So Mr. Hanky is definitely an older producer. He's not even a newer producer.
Really?
But he did the record with the City Girls and Usher.
Okay.
He produced for Usher and the City Girls.
Okay.
The Good Love. He did
Gotcha.
Stewie Rock's and Tex James Smart Girl record.
Hmm.
I can't believe y'all don't know Mr. Hanky.
So
That's
so so
crazy.
so 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 let me say this, Miss Cox. It's a lot of producers that produce
Okay.
records. I may not know the producer, but I most definitely know the record.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
But
definitely. I
his
know the
tag is
record. That's why I
Mr.
told her to
Hanky.
say it. Is she from Atlanta? Cause that's the thing. Cause I know the records you're talking about, but I just sometimes I don't always know the producers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Well,
that's the thing. But yeah, now that you said, it, I'm gonna go look up his his resume and see all that he's done. But I just don't. I've just never heard that name before.
yes,
But the
look
rest
into
of them I've
that. Go
heard.
check out Mr. Hanky for sure.
Okay. So when you work with him? Were you in the studio with him, or was it something he just passed along to you?
I said no. You asked me who would I want to work with.
Oh, who you want to work with? Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah. So what producers have you worked with that were kind of like names that we would know? Have you worked with anybody that you would be with that we would know?
Are you guys familiar to All Right Slash out
All
of New
right.
Orleans?
No.
Okay, so he does like a lot
Ho,
of the New
ho,
Orleans, the bounce records.
you talking about?
The Ben Up Run Up on Me, if you do, then I'ma trip out. Like he did that song, the
Okay.
Trip Out record.
I know who that
And
is.
then
I
you
know
know
who
who
that
that
is.
is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He did.
So
He's worked with like Kevin Gates, NLE Chopper, and a few others. So I
Okay.
know what it is.
yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Oh well, basically, I know you always looking to try to put together a tour, put together events and stuff like that. Do you got anything right now that you kind of really sinking yourself into right now when it comes to touring and or are you trying to get on somebody else's tour? So how is that looking for you?
Definitely not. We haven't put together my tour yet. It's just more so we're staying local as of right now because we're in the middle of course, the rollout for the project. And then, like I said, I'm about to be filming very soon. So we're trying to stay within where we need to be filming at. And then we'll probably expand out after that, probably March or April, like once the spring hits.
Yeah, I know you can't really talk too much about the TV show, but can you at least is it like a eight episode, 6 episode type deal? Can you at least tell us that part?
It is a season. It's a season.
Okay. But you just can't tell us like what platform all that stuff is gonna be on.
It'll be on
Okay.
national television. I can say
Oh,
that.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
So
I
can
can't
you
say
really
what
tell us
network.
is it reality or scripted? Can you tell us that part?
A reality.
Reality. Okay, cool. Oh, so you on your reality thing. Okay, that's cool. That's what's up. I hope you don't be doing y'all be throwing a bunch of glasses and slapping each other in
That's not
it.
me. If you see it, it's not gonna be from me. That's not really my character.
Okay, all right, okay, that's what's up. So basically, when it comes to uh, at this point in your career, what is your like ultimate like goal, or what are you? Because I know you're strategic. So what over the next 5 years, what are you really trying to accomplish? Because you've been around for a minute. Well, let me ask you this: I know you with Virgin, right? You with distribution with Virgin, right? How is that? How is that process going?
Honestly, it's going for me pretty good. I can't really complain. They pretty much it for me having distribution gives me the aspect of having that machine but still being able to make my own decisions and plays. So I present like what I want to do, how I want to do things, rollouts and stuff like that, and they kind of basically listen to what I say in that regard, and they take care of the distribution part of it, and make sure that it's within the right channels and the right people see it. So that part is working for me, honestly.
Okay. So when it comes to the new EP, what's the main single off of that EP?
I believe that. So the people are saying it's gonna be like this, which is that New Orleans record. We just shot the video for it in New Orleans, so it'll be out later on this week, if I'm not mistaken. I'm waiting on the date for that. The team is supposed to send that back to me.
Okay, so as far as so you shot the so you shot the video for that. So what's the theme behind the video? What the video gonna look like? Is it gonna be the one of the New Orleans bands in it? Is it gonna be a lot of dancing? What's going on with this video?
We did it on Bourbon Street, so I just wanted to give that whole New Orleans feel. Being on Bourbon Street, we got Mardi Gras things, we got people throwing beads, and just having a good time and dancing for sure. So just some slight, nothing too major.
Okay. You need to go get one of the New Orleans artists out there. Even somebody like a Turk or somebody. He stay hungry.
We
He stay.
working
He
on
stay.
that. We
Yeah,
working
he
on
stay.
that. We working. We
Yeah.
working.
Yeah, because I know somebody even like him. He stay that underdog, playing that underdog role where he trying to really show the rest of them the hot boys that he can win on his own. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So he might be a good look, or anybody from New Orleans at this point. I mean, or Louisiana in general. So even if you can go for the stars, the gusto, and get an NBA young boy or somebody like that, or
Ooh, that's
whatever.
a big budget. You said NBA young boy.
Yeah, I mean, if this, I don't know what your budget is. I don't know. You know what I mean?
That's
You
a
know what I mean?
lot of monies.
Yeah, I
For
feel you.
independent artists, that's a lot of monies.
Yeah. I already know to be some. It might be some bread or whatever behind it, or whatever. But yeah, but I feel like you can pull it off. You might can pull it off without all having all that money. You might pull it off. You know what I'm saying?
I gotta
But
see.
anyway, but yes, Miss Cox, I always enjoy you coming on our platform and talking with us.
Thank you for having
Like
me
I
so
said,
much. I
Duke
appreciate
always have us. Always he sends me stuff every week about what you're doing in your
y'all.
career. So I always told him I'm always support. Like I told you at the event in Alabama when I was out there that I was gonna always be one of your biggest supporters no matter what because I love your grind. You know what I mean? Because the one thing about with me and young people, and I'm not saying this you in general, I'm just saying in general, I don't really. Sometimes to me, it's not even about the music. It's about
Yeah,
the grind. It's about the
right.
hustle. It's about if
Yeah,
I see that you pushing, I'm willing to push with you because what I'm saying. If you that hungry, I want to be hungry with you. You know what I'm saying, or
absolutely.
whatever. So I appreciate the fact that you always been stay consistent and be about what you're going with who you are. So if there's anything that you want to drop on us, Jacob, we're
Hold
gonna
on,
continue.
Icon. Hold
My
on.
bad, my bad. Go ahead, go ahead.
Hold
Go
on,
ahead.
pump your brakes.
What's up?
I got some to ask Miss Cox about this
Okay, go
record
ahead.
that I like. You got a record. It is exclusive to me called Headboards.
Oh,
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yeah,
what
yeah.
you want to know?
I listened to that record, right?
Uh-huh.
And I said, man, this right here pretty exclusive. Like I can really see this in a lot of music licensing and being scored. So like tell me tell me about that record and have you guys did much with the record or has it been pushed like that because it definitely can be in some movie scores.
Headboard, just because it has a big feature on there with Lil Durk, it kind of did its own thing. We put it out and we let it do what it did, just because we knew it was gonna do numbers already because Lil Durk was on there. I don't believe it's in any movies at this point, but I mean, we submitted them to it. They haven't been looking for a headboard as of yet, though.
Yeah, it's definitely a big record and so another question for you as the artist, this is this is this is a more like a question that a lot of people don't think about. Streaming versus record sales. What is your thoughts?
Streaming versus record sales. Hmm. I mean, y'all know streaming. You get a percentage, a cent of 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 a quarter of a dime of it. Y'all know how the streaming goes. So I mean,
Yeah, so the reason I asked you that because I listen to a lot of La Russell interviews
hmm
and he don't talk against streaming but what he says more artists will have more money in their pocket and have more what we call a cult following, people that buy your music when it's direct from consumer to artist. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Or artist to
absolutely.
consumer. And
Hmm.
so, what do you feel about that?
I agree with that. That's why most people are now like attempting to tap into where go on their website, buy their record from them specifically. Forget like trying to cut out the streaming sites to where you could go to their website and actually get their. They'll start getting their residuals from their records now. So for
Okay.
sure.
Cool, cool, cool. But like Icon said, it's always a pleasure having you. And big
Well,
up to you in 2026. And man,
Thank you.
I'm just looking to see your name in that marquee. New York
Thank
City,
you. Thank
LA.
you. Thank
You
you.
know what I mean? I'm looking forward to seeing it.
well, I was
Absolutely.
gonna say this too, Miss Cox. I was gonna say this too. What to piggyback off what Jacob just said. So the one thing I believe that a lot of artists, especially in y'all generation, don't really understand and don't get is that records are still selling. So whether
Mhm.
you're doing vinyl or you're doing CDs, I don't know if your team know anything about. It's a cut. Matter of fact, it's probably I know it's two retail stores in Atlanta. It's one in Riverdale called DBS Sound,
Mhm.
and there's one in the Flea Mall off of Terrabilla Boulevard. Both
Mhm.
of them still sell CDs. Both of them
Absolutely.
still sell vinyl. Both
Mhm.
I know the one over in DBS Sounds. They
That's where
just
they've been
had
doing
their
like the
parties.
release parties at with Kalani, Cardi, and all of that. DBS does
Yep,
all those
yep.
release
So
parties.
so definitely it's a Jamaican guy named Tobago that owns that shop. And I would say your team need to tap into them when you want to roll out your album or whatever. Then y'all need to definitely talk to them about doing a meet and greet, you know what I'm saying, down at their spot, and then putting your stuff, some CDs and some vinyl in their stores so you can get some of that, money, whether whatever you're gonna sell it for, you can get a bigger piece of your pie off of your money and not be so dependent on the streaming. Because as
Gotcha.
we've seen, even like now, like even last night when I seen something, and I don't know if you've seen this, but TikTok is basically trying to get rid of all TikTok from America. So
Mhm.
over the last week, I had put up a couple of videos, and one of my videos had 0 views, and I'm like, hold on, I ain't never got 0 views now. What's going on? And then I seen somebody talking about it last night that a bigger creator got 0 views, and they basically what TikTok is doing is they're trying to get rid of itself without telling us they getting rid of. So it's
Mhm.
kind of like they're trying to discourage people to go away, so they won't have to do like they did last year when they had to make an announcement and everybody was all in their feelings and they had, whatever. I think they're trying to just kind of push us away from them. And I think that's what's going to happen with a lot of these streaming platforms. That, like you said, you basically need to have a website set up where you can push all your fans to your website and buy directly from you versus focusing on the streaming and all this other stuff where the artists don't make any money. Because the one thing I always say with artists is, and I heard I forgot who it was talking about this, and he said basically it's the artist's fault because the artist allowed the business to basically have too much ownership and too much say so on their music. So if all the
Mhm.
artists came together and said, "Listen, record labels, we're not going to let no or streaming networks, we're no longer just going to let you sell our stuff and we only get pennies on the dollar." You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? You're gonna have to give us a bigger piece of the pie if you're gonna keep pushing our product. You know what I'm saying? And I know Jay-Z tried to do that a little bit with Title for a while, and then he kind of just gave into the system too after a while. So, but I think that's what Jacob was trying to kind of get at when it came to that part of this understanding of you have other ways to be able to make money, versus just the relying on the streaming part of it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So, but it just let everybody know where they can find you. What's coming up with you to remind everybody where to look for you at, so they'll know where to go because it's going to be on radio. Well, we got a new radio station, Inspire Radio, 650,000 visitors a month on that station. We come on 5 days a week on there, so it will be on that station, so people will be able to hear what you putting out.
Yeah, so y'all can follow me everywhere at Miss Cox, MZCOXX. Y'all can go to my website for exclusive show dates, merch, all things Miss Cox, and that's misscox.com. And other than that, I would just say stay tuned and expect the unexpected. And oh, yeah, it's Cox time.
All right, I appreciate you coming on, Jacob. We're gonna stay on like another 10 more minutes and chop it up. But I
Thank you,
appreciate you, Miss
thank you,
Cox,
thank you.
and
I
love
got to
and
get to this
respect. And
Grammy party. It's the Grammys. Y'all not watching the Grammys?
I don't watch that mess.
Oh
I don't
my
like that.
gosh. Well, thank y'all for
Nah.
having me. Have a
All
good one.
right, all right, you too. Uh, what's up, Jake?
What up?
I ain't watched the Grammys in about 20 years. I don't watch that mess.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I seen one of my peoples. I got a few people that flew out there to the Grammys and whatnot, and you know, some of them was nominated and stuff like that. So you know, I mean, if that's what you own, that's what you own, man. So you know,
Yeah, I mean, I mean, if you know one of our artists got nominated and we got invited, you know, I would go. But as far as sitting there watching it, I ain't watched the Grammys or the American Music Awards, and I ain't watched none of that stuff in years. Like you know, what I mean, I almost stopped watching the BET Awards, but I try to watch that just because it was, you know, something that was representing us, like the Soul Train, the you know NAACP. But the crazy part about those award shows, especially like the Soul Train and NAACP, they would actually they wouldn't actually promote it right. You know how with the Grammys, they promote the Grammys for like a month, 2 months out. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to like the NAACP and the Soul Train, you might not know the Soul Train Awards coming on to the like the week of or a few couple of days before it come on. You know what I'm saying? That's why I think that they ended up getting rid of because they probably wasn't getting enough viewership for those awards because you just have me scrolling through your TV. Oh, dang, the Soul Train was on. Oh, dang, the NAACP was on. And you wouldn't even know it was on. You know what I mean? So, so that's kind of why I think they kind of slowly but surely push that out, or whatever. But before we leave out of here tonight, I do wanted to give our condolences to Lamont, where everybody know him as Lamont Sanford. What his name Damon Wilson. And I just want you to kind of give us your what you feel about it and the impact that it may have had on your lives from that show.
uh, well, Saffron and Son is still one of my favorite shows. I still watch it. You know, I still, love Fred Lamont Rollo and Julio and Grady and Bubba and all of them characters and you know, Fred and Esther going at it and Fred, having the sweets for Donna and whatnot, the love of his life. So man, but it's always gonna be a fan favorite to me. I'm always gonna be a fan of Sanford Son, and man, I'm so glad they still play it, bro. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the things that the kids grow up watching now, they don't have the things that we had, like Sanford and Son and Good Times and What's Happening and the Cosby Show, Different World and Family Matters and so forth and so forth and so we have great shows, but it's definitely a fan favorite. It's definitely a show that's been running for a long, long time, man, and I think they're gonna keep running it because they always have great viewership on that show, man. People love
Mm-hmm.
to watch that, man. So man, salute to Damon Wilson, and he lived a long life. He died at 79
Mm-hmm.
years old, man. So he's been around and seen things, and he had a chance to still be in Hollywood, but he left it. He didn't like some things he
Mm-hmm.
seen about it. He left it and started dealing with the youth in his mentorship program, and he became a minister as well.
Yeah.
To, salute to him, man, for inspiring us and being in our lives for as long as he was.
Yeah. Because I say this, I don't think people really the underestimated thing about that show was the chemistry that him and Fred had. And the crazy thing about that chemistry that they had is that they really didn't get along with each other. And that just shows the professionalism from what you can be on those type of shows because I watched a lot of the documentaries of Sanford and Son and the story behind it. And it was always said that Fred and Lamont really didn't get along. They didn't really talk off the set and whatever outside of when they was on doing their parts together. I remember watching the other day, I was watching something with Della Reese, and she was telling the story of the day that Red Fox had passed away, and she said that basically the producers, because at that time they was on that new show called Royal Family, I think that was called. Because I remember watching that show. it was Della Reese, it was Lorenz Tate was the grandson. So that was a kind of a star-studded show when it went back then when it came on. But anyway, so she was just talking about how the producers would talk down to Fred and basically like, telling Fred like they would always try to come up with Fred lines, and Fred was like, you're not a comedian, you don't know funny, you don't know how this go and whatever. They was like, oh, we the producers, we know how to write, we know how to do whatever. And then so the day that he was on the set, it was a scene where he had to walk across some steps or something, but they were just practicing. They wasn't even filming it at the time. They was just going through. They was doing like a dry run or whatever, and so they could have got like an extra to do it, just to do that part of the scene. But then Fred was in his dressing room and he was doing an interview with like Rolling Stone magazine or some big magazine, and the producers come running there telling him he need to be on set. So when he gets out there on set, and then he sees that the fact that, oh, y'all could have done this without me, and he gets into a real big argument with the producers, and that's when he ended up, having his heart attack right then and there. And at first they thought he was faking, because he always, just like in the actual show, when he would fake heart attacks, he would kind of like mess around and fake heart attacks doing rehearsal or whatever, messing around. But this one time he was like, go get my wife, and Della Reese knew. And then she said the crazy part about it was when Della Reese, when the paramedics got there and he pretty much was pronounced dead, I think it was at the hospital by that time, and he was pronounced dead, the first thing the producer said was, what are we going to do now? Because the show was built around him. And they were saying this in front of his wife. You know what I'm saying? And Della Reese said she went off, on the producers. So that is probably the little things that might be Fred that Lamont, because Lamont went through those, battles trying to get more money and different things, and probably seeing stuff that he didn't like in the industry. He walked away. And that's big. I give him a lot of respect, because a lot of people wouldn't be able to walk away from something that they made so much money on or whatever, because they was on that show for 4 or 5 years, and pretty sure back then it was making pretty good money, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. And for you to walk away and not to ever really act again after that, you know what I'm saying, would kind of is a tribute to him. But I think
I see him on somebody podcast, and he was talking about, his royalties checks is astronomical after all these years, man. He said he's actually lived a great life off that show.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he has, because it's on TBS, it's on this station, on that, streaming and all other kind of stuff. So I'm pretty sure he probably makes a lot of money, because I remember even for a while, the Cosby Show, all the actors said they was making a lot of money until the whole scandal came out with Bill, and they lost it. They started losing those checks that they was getting. But it was the same thing with them. That's why I never understood why they took the show off the air because of Bill Cosby. Because I'm like, you're not just hurting Bill, you're hurting all these other people that was relying on this money, over the last 20
Icon,
years.
man. It's a black oriented show. It's about a successful black family, the highs and lows, and people love that Cosby Show, man. You had people who were still watching that Cosby Show 30 years later, man. So
Mhm.
anything that resemble us in a lot of different ways, man, they actually want to take away.
Yeah, because you could have done the same thing with what's old boy from was it not Friends? What's the other show? Seinfeld, I think it was. Remember he
Yeah,
made the racist remarks
right,
or whatever. I think they could have took the show off based off of him making racist remarks, and they didn't do that. You know what
right.
I'm saying? They didn't take off Roseanne Barr. Roseanne still was coming on, still comes on. And after she made racist remarks, when her new show came off, they just took her off the show. But the thing about it was, people don't realize Roseanne still owned the Connors. Even though they took the show off the air, she still owned that show. So she was still making money off of the Connors, and the Connors show went on for about a good 6, 7 years after she got kicked off the show.
Right.
So at the end of the day, so what did they really do? You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So, that's kind of how they do us in Hollywood. If somebody make a mistake, you're gonna take the whole show off. It's like they try to do with Nick Cannon. When Nick Cannon made some comments and he had to go back and apologize, but he said he didn't apologize for himself. He apologized because he knew that other people relied on those checks and that money. So he knew
Right.
it was bigger than him. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Whatever. So that's why he apologized. So you got to respect that why he ended up sacrificing his own beliefs and whatever to be able to make sure other people ate, like whether it was a Carlos Miller or DC Young Fly and all the people that was on like wilding out and different stuff he had going on. You know what I mean, or whatever. But anyway, man, another great show, another great episode of 95 South TV. Shout out to 810 Studios, InspireRadio.com. We on there 5 days a week from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. every morning, Monday through Friday. And, you know, we on the CW with 910 Sports, Augusta 54, all those platforms. And we just going to keep moving and grooving. So I appreciate everybody coming on, watching us, and checking us out each and every time we come on. You know what I'm saying? So love and respect. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Jacob, hit me up, call me as soon as we get off of here, my brother. And we
I
out.
bet. Peace and blessings,
Right.
y'all.
Brown skin girl, and she knew I was out